This video is brought to you by NordVPN. Today, the EU Parliament votes on new migration laws. Tension rises between Israel and Iran, and Elon Musk discusses the rate of development of AI. From TLDR News, this is your daily briefing for Wednesday the 10th of April, 2024. This afternoon, the EU Parliament votes on a set of new migration laws in what's been described as a make-or-break attempt to reform its migration and asylum policy. The debate started at 12:30 p.m. today, and votes on different texts that make the pact will start at 5 p.m. These new migration laws make up the new Pact on Migration and Asylum. First presented nearly 4 years ago, the pact details a comprehensive overhaul that seeks to establish a common and united policy between countries to manage the reception and relocation of asylum seekers. For the past 10 years, each EU country has been responsible for organising their own asylum procedures within the laws and guidelines of the ECHR. Ever since it was first presented, the pact has gone through many ups and downs, with many believing it would never reach a vote in Parliament. But things changed last December, in a breakthrough agreement between the EU's Parliament and the Council. This was super important, because the pact needs final approval from each EU institution, including the Council, before it can be enacted into law. The 5 laws that make up the pact will each be treated as an individual package, and will be voted on separately. But the collapse of one could trigger a domino effect of the other laws, making it unlikely for the Council to proceed with an incomplete set of rules. The upcoming parliamentary summer elections mean that today's vote is the last chance for MEPs to endorse the new pact. However, the vote is a divisive one, and according to MEPs, the outcome today remains incredibly uncertain. Opposition comes from between and within parties. Some think the new pact is too strict, others think it's not strict enough. Resistance comes from the left and Greens, who argue that the stringent provisions will degrade the asylum process and violate fundamental rights. Parliament's 3 big groups, the EPP, Renew and S&D, overall back the deal, but some of their national delegations are planning to vote against parts of the pact. For instance, Italy's Democratic Party is opposing the pact because Prime Minister Giorgia Meloni of the far-right Brothers of Italy backs it. It's the same situation in France, where the Republicans and Socialist Party oppose it, because Macron is backing it. Central and Eastern European MEPs are also sceptical. In fact, it's been reported in a last-ditch effort that Macron called Poland's Donald Tusk last night to try and get him to steer his centre-right MEPs to at least abstain on the vote. If the pact is rejected today, the initiative could be killed for many years to come. If passed, we may see a more united bloc, with a much harsher stance on migration, something that we haven't seen in a while. There's more on the way, but remember to subscribe and ring the bell for more daily briefing tomorrow. Plus, if you want to support the channel, like Jamie Badilow, then consider joining the new TLDR membership program for just $1.99. Iran's Supreme Leader Ayatollah Ali Khamenei has today said that Israel must be punished for its attack on the Iranian embassy compound in Syria earlier this month. The strike killed 7 military officials, including the commander of Iran's elite Quds force, Mohammad Reza Zahedi, and was swiftly followed by vows of retaliation from Iran. Addressing crowds in Tehran today on the celebration of Eid, which marks the end of the holy month of Ramadan, Ali Khamenei said, "When they, or Israel, attack our consulate, it's as if they have attacked our soil, and that the malicious regime made a mistake on this matter, and it must be punished and will be punished." Ali Khamenei also took aim at the leaders of the US and UK for their continued support of the war, while crowds chanted "Death to America." The Israeli airstrike, which hit the Iranian embassy on April the 1st, represented a major escalation in the Middle East, as it was the first time an embassy compound had been hit. After the attack, Iran's foreign minister called it a violation of all international obligations and conventions, and promised retaliation. We also released a full video on Iran-Israel tensions over on the TLDR Global channel last week, so check that out if you want to understand more. On Wednesday morning, Fitch, one of the big 3 credit rating agencies, downgraded its long-term outlook on China's sovereignty credit to negative. In justifying their decision, Fitch explained that they expect China's government debt burden to continue on a steady upward trend, as Beijing resorts to further stimulus, mostly directed at its manufacturing base in its attempt to pull the world's second-largest economy out of a slowdown. At the same time, slowing growth means that China looks unlikely to grow out of its new debt burden, i.e. grow at a sufficient rate to decrease its debt to GDP ratio. Fitch is now the second agency to downgrade China's debt rating in the past few months, after Moody's did the same in December. Unsurprisingly, the CCP didn't respond well to the news, essentially accusing Fitch of failing to appreciate the positive impact that China's fiscal policies could have on its growth rate. This comes at a particularly crucial time for Beijing, which is due to publish data on some key economic indicators, including first quarter growth in the next few days. In some tech news today, Elon Musk has stated that he believes that AI models will surpass human intelligence by the end of next year, bringing forward a previous prediction that it would hit this goal by 2029. Musk himself owns the AI startup company xAI, which is developing an AI model called Grok. In the last couple of years, AI has developed rapidly, with new tools being developed at a much faster rate than previously expected. This includes better developed chatbots, image generators, voice synthesizers, and even video generators. However, despite these developments, there have been some bottlenecks on the development of AI. According to Musk, the biggest bottleneck so far has been the supply of microchips. He claims that this is easing, and that soon the issue will be transitioning to a voltage transformer supply, and then ultimately the main constraint will just be the electricity supply. Provided that AI developers can get around these bottlenecks, Musk believes that an AI will be developed that is smarter than any one human. Finally, an uplifting news suggested by Daily Briefing member Sasha. A new report from the French planning and environmental agency l'Institut Paris Région has found that more commuters are now cycling into Paris from the outskirts than driving. Published last week, the survey was conducted over a 6-month period ending in April 2023 by equipping more than 3,000 Parisians aged between 16 and 80 with GPS trackers and recording their journeys for a week. It found that in the suburbs, where there's less public transport, cars were the main form of transport, but for journeys from the outskirts of Paris to the city centre, the number of cyclists now far exceeds the number of motorists. This is good news for Paris's left-wing mayor too, who's introduced a number of anti-car policies during her 2 terms to help make Paris greener. Thanks again to Daily Briefing member Sasha for suggesting that story. And if you also want to get involved, our channel members get the ability to suggest uplifting stories, they get access to exclusive badges next to their names, emojis in comments, and priority comment replies, all for just $1.99 a month. Now, watching our videos, it's understandable if, at times, you feel like the world isn't terribly safe. And unfortunately, this can be the case online too. You might try your best to keep everything secure, maybe you try to rotate through favourite passwords online, but that's not always enough to keep you safe. In fact, the most common form of account hacking these days is called credential stuffing. Essentially, you use one of your normal passwords on a website that's poorly maintained, and then if it gets compromised, you could find that information landing on the dark web. Hackers then just attempt the same email and password combinations on your social network account, streaming services, banks, you get the point. Luckily for you, NordVPN has a whole bunch of tools that can keep you safe online. With their suite of threat protection tools, including a dark web monitor, which notifies you if someone leaks your credentials. It's not just that though, their threat protection can also warn you about phishing links and block malicious ads before you even see them. It really is all-round protection for your digital life. And if you sign up for a 2-year plan using our link, you'll not only get a massive discount, but you also get 4 extra months totally free. So if you want to support the channel and improve our journalism, then make sure that you use the link in the description so that they know that you came from us.